Michelle Montgomery. I don't know, others might join. Okay, cool, Anna. That's cool. Guys, I'm in the LSAT Unplugged with you guys as well. I took the LSAT back in January and probably try to hit it one more time, see how I do. So I'm still studying along, but I definitely experienced probably a little bit of burnout, just like some other people did. I got kind of tired of the test. Uh, so I started looking into some other avenues as well, because the law school process is more than just the LSAT, right? It's also your letters of recommendation, it's your application, it's all kinds of stuff. So one of the parts about the law school process and the application process that I found most interesting and that I probably dived into the most was the networking part of things. I've really taken to expanding my network and making sure that I use all of the avenues that are available to network and grow that network, so that when my applications go in, it's not the first time they're hearing my name. You guys know what I'm saying about that? Like, you don't want the first time that it crossed the Dean of Admissions desk or the Admissions Council desk, that be the first time that they hear Michelle Montgomery or Shakira, right? We want them to know us beforehand. So I kind of took to LinkedIn and some other networking platforms, and I took off with it. And so now I just want to share some of the things with you guys that I learned along the journey. If that's cool, that's all we're going to do, is just kind of talk about some of the things I learned, and hopefully it can help you as you network as well. So I put together some slides. This is what we're going to talk about really quickly. What is networking? Why should we network? Some myths or facts about LinkedIn in particularly, and then I'll give you some tips on your LinkedIn accounts and how you can make sure that they're strong and meet the intent, right? Especially as a law school applicant. So you guys good with that? Dive right in. Awesome. So
Yes.
I like quotes. I'm a quote person. So one of the things says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. I really believe that in order to make this law school journey one that we all can grow and get into the school of our dreams, we need other people to do it. And the other one, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And I really believe that too. I'll share with you very quickly. I jumped into some organizations, some pre-law student organizations, and made sure my profile and stuff was up to date, connected with people, and I got invited to be a host for one of the pre-law seminars. And so I really believe in everything I'm about to tell you, and I believe that those same doors can open for you guys, and it led me to some other things as well. So keep that in mind. The doors you open are definitely, I mean, there's so many of them. So what's a network? And you guys, since it's just the three of us in here, I know Anna's just kind of watching in the sidebar, but what is a network? And we can just kind of chat it out. What do you guys think that is?
Well, I guess it's just a series of connections, right, that you make throughout your life or career, and one thing might lead to another, and one opportunity might lead to many different opportunities.
That's right. All day long, connecting with like-minded individuals. Absolutely, Shakira. You guys are both right. Like, networking is just that. It is creating a network or a platform of people that you can reach out to, and creating various avenues that you can do that in. I got a definition here, and I got this from Business News Daily. It says networking is the deliberate activity to build, reinforce, and maintain relationships of trust with other people to further your goals. Professional networking is simply networking focused on professional goals. And guys, what's our goal here? Is to get into law school. So I'm gonna call it law school networking, right? I'm gonna coin that myself. I call it law school networking, right? And that's exactly what we're doing, is networking so that we can get into law school. So why network? I kind of put some things out here for you just to kind of to know like the importance of it. But the biggest thing to me, and it's kind of why I made it bigger here, is to make yourself noticeable. That's the biggest part. Okay, that's cool, Shakira. Type your responses. Okay, cool. That's good. No worries. Thank you for joining in though, even in your office. But the biggest part is making yourself noticeable. You want people to see you. Like, that's why we do this whole networking thing, is so that people know who we are and that we know who people are. Of course, networking opens doors for new opportunities. And like I just kind of explained to you, opportunities to host things, to meet with people, to sit in on meetings, a resource library. Guys, this is an opportunity for us to grow our resources and not just tap into the normal resources that we all use, but to grow it as far as people are concerned, right? Gain support from new people. I love this because since I've been on this journey, I've made this group of people that are supporting me and providing me, pushing me in the right direction, providing me advice and motivation. And they weren't people that I knew before I started doing this. And then grow your self-confidence. When you guys put yourself out there on these networking sites and things like that, you grow as a person as well. And then across the bottom, develop long-lasting relationships. That's the whole idea, and I sure hope you do as well. Find a job in school you love. We could do all the Google searches that we like. We can look every school up, but the reality is when you talk to somebody from that school and talk to somebody else and talk to somebody else, you learn more about it than you ever could, right? Get answers to every question. I love that because there's some questions that just can't be answered via Google. And I know that that seems crazy. You could probably get an answer, but if you want the real truth about it, you're going to have to connect with some people wherever it is, organization, business, it doesn't matter. Open up your perspective, and that's always beautiful. I mean, we're trying to go to law school. That's what it's all about. And then find mentors and champions. And that's probably the biggest thing between making yourself noticeable and finding mentors and champions. You're going to need mentors along this journey. And not only will you find mentors and champions when you network, but you'll find people that you probably never thought you would connect with to stand in your corner and root for you. So I think that's those are kind of why I believe networking is so important. You guys got any questions on that or any thoughts? If you know what that you do, thank you. You typed it in. Do you think it makes more of a difference talking to admissions officers than perhaps law professors who teach in that particular school? So for me, I think when you say difference, of course, if it's admission officers, then like I kind of said in the beginning, your name is kind of already on their brain when your application comes through. But I think that talking to those professors is just as important because you don't know who's on the admissions board. You see, so you might be talking to a professor who's actually on the board. You never know who that person is, but also what connections they have. So you said it first, right? Connections. So if I'm talking to the professor who has a connection with somebody else, who has a connection with somebody else, then that's going to be how that ball keeps rolling anyway, right? So to me, I just network as best you can. If that's through a professor, then that's through a professor. If that's through an admissions office, that's through an admissions officer. Same. That's me, Sean's approach now. I just say get your foot in the door and talk to everybody that you can, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, I have another follow-up though.
Yeah.
So in a particular school in the admissions process, is there a certain set of number of professors that may or may not be on the admissions board, or is it just a different professors from different areas?
So I, I've never, and I've sat in on a lot of different seminars and things like that. I don't know that. So I'm going to give you, this is kind of like I don't want to say secret, but this is kind of how I look at it. I don't know that they'll ever say like, this is the admissions board. Does that make sense? I don't know that they'll ever advertise like, these are the people on the admissions board, because then who knows what you might go and do and who you might try and go and meet. So I don't know that you ever get like a platform or a list of people and this is who it is. However, here's the side note about networking and using things like LinkedIn, right? I may not know specifically at each school who's on the admissions board and who they're going to use, but if I am someone at a school and I was selected to be on an admissions board, and I update my profile in LinkedIn and say, law school admissions board advisor, or law school, or UCLA admissions board, or Harvard admissions board, law school admissions board, something like that. That would be a way that I would know. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it may not be something that's like advertised on their webpage, so that the people don't go out and get like stalked. But they may do something like that, right? They may put it on their personal profile. So when you go through, and I'll show you in a minute, and you're searching, that may be something you search for. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Any other questions? Cool. And feel free to jump in, guys. That's cool with me. Doesn't bother me at all. So there's all kinds of platforms, right? You guys know that, I know that. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The one we're going to stick to and chat with about today is LinkedIn. That's the one we're going to kind of put our focus into. So this is, again, Facebook and all those things. I think that they are very important, and you need to ensure that personal social media presence is just as clean, if you will, as your LinkedIn presence. especially during your application process. And you guys have heard about like people who have had certain things on their social media accounts that weren't as positive, if you will, and they may have lost scholarships. You guys heard about some of those different things? You guys, yeah, oh, that that's really real. Like that happens. Some people go out there and they post certain things and they end up, that's the footprint that they're leaving. So as you're on this journey starting right now, you know, and even if you can go back and clean it up, think about your social media presence and what does it say about you. And I like to ask myself, if I Google Michelle Montgomery, what's going to come up, right? If I Google Shakira Ramirez, what's going to come up? And that's something that I continuously ask myself as I'm on this journey, because as those schools, I start putting in my application, if it was between me and somebody else and they went and said, hey, who's Michelle Montgomery? And they looked me up, what are they going to find that's going to make the difference? You guys got me? Cool. All right, so let's play a quick little game. You can put it out there. It's called Facts versus Myths, right? So just tell me what you think. Is it a myth or a fact that LinkedIn should only be used by people looking for a job? Yeah, myth. Myth, absolutely. It's a myth, right? LinkedIn can be used to create your social media platform, to create your footprint, and to create your personal brand, right? So when I go to social media or look you up, this is the brand that you're creating for yourself, right? Cool. You guys got that. LinkedIn is a great way to gain exposure to law school recruiters. Fact. Absolutely fact. Yeah, that's a fact. And it's kind of like the conversation we just had. The thing about it is I might be looking for them, but guys, they may be looking for you. Right. So this is a great way for you to gain exposure, added exposure. So if you think about it, you got your letter your letters of recommendation, you have your application, right? You have your personal statement, diversity statement, but this is just another way for you to say, hey, I'm here and this is what I'm interested in, you know? The best time to create a LinkedIn profile is when I'm ready to apply to law school. Myth. Absolutely. That's a myth all day long. Yeah, myth, right? You should have your profile now before that, right? Not just for jobs, but because it is a good way to brand yourself. And it's kind of like it's free marketing, free branding for you, right? It's free branding for Michonne. So that's what I like to think of it is as, and you should have that now, right? Even before your application goes in. And lastly, having a network is a crucial part of the road to law school. You guys think fact? Absolutely. Yeah, you need people. And as much as it may seem like a single journey when you're studying for the LSAT, because that thing is excruciating and it's and it's its own entity, it absolutely 100%, you 100% need people along the journey, right? So let's take a look, and I'm going to give you some tips on your own personal LinkedIn profiles. I used mine as a guide. It's not perfect, but it is definitely updated with some of the things and information that I've received along this journey and some of the seminars and different things that I've sat in and just things I've learned in communication. So first things first, right, is the profile picture, guys. I got it kind of highlighted here in the red box. Make sure your picture is up to date and is professional. So I'm still in the military. I'm active duty United States Air Force. So my profile is kind of interesting right now because I'm on both wheelhouses, personally and professionally. So I keep this picture up just because I do a lot of stuff with my job still. But as I transition out of the military, I have about a little over a year and a half left. I'll look to change that picture up. I will tell you that a lot of people think you have to go get a professional headshot and all kind of stuff. You don't have to do that. You can definitely grab a photo. Just make sure it's professional, you up against the wall or something like that, and take your photo. I've seen all kinds, as long as it's indicative of who you are, right? The next part right below that is your name. And I want to kind of highlight something here, if you guys can see. Superintendent Integrated Resilience, that is one of my jobs, and I'm also the senior manager for the Diversity Inclusion Program at the United States Air Force. So I have two jobs in my current position, but if you look right here, currently applying to law school. So I put that on there. If you have you guys seen aspiring lawyer, a pre-law candidate, a pre-law student? Have you guys seen some of those in people's profiles? Yeah, throw that bad boy in there because it's going to connect you when you are you JD candidate, right? So when you're already in law school and you're working on your towards the end, you're a JD candidate. But right now, if you haven't done anything, right, you're still an aspiring law school student. You're a current applicant. You're a pre-law candidate. You're a pre-law professional if you're not in school. All of these words are going to drive those search factors for you. Okay, so I suggest putting that into your description so that people know that that's what you're currently doing. And so that when schools look, they also know, or when people look, because this isn't just about connecting with schools, this is about connecting with people. So when people look at your profile, they know, hey, you're trying to go to law school. Oh, I might know somebody that could help you with that. That's what you want to do is drive that interest. You guys see what I'm saying? So if you're not using that part right there, make sure you update that so that it's indicative of what you're trying to do. The last part is this part right up here. So you see I have this big banner behind my profile that says do something great. A lot of people leave that dead space. If you look at some people's profiles, there's nothing there, right? It'll be blank, or maybe it's the picture that LinkedIn puts there. It's like something, I don't know what it is, but it's not, you can use that. That's an actual banner that you can go out. Canva has an already pre-made sized banner for LinkedIn. You can go to Canva for free and create any kind of banner that you want and put that behind you. My suggestion, right, mine says do something great. I try to change that up often. So you can also put like, something about what you're currently doing in your job. You can put something in there about going to law school. You can put one of the ones I'm getting done right now is a picture of me while I'm doing my public speaking and things like that. And I'm going to plaster that in there. Just something about you. This is a fun way that LinkedIn has kind of opened up. And guys, I don't work for LinkedIn, FYI. I'm just like you. But this is the fun way that LinkedIn has kind of tried to bring in that personality piece. And a lot of people don't use this space to market themselves, but it's free marketing, right? So make sure that you tap into that space right there and get your profile as up to date as possible. Any questions there? Cool. The next step is the about section. This is a part where you get to sell yourself. And I think a lot of times we don't take advantage of selling ourselves, but sell yourself here. So this is all about me, right? And keeping in mind the keywords, right? Highly motivated, goal-oriented, things like that, proven team leader. And I need to update mine to actually add in some more stuff about law school. But right now it speaks to the job that I have, right? Team leadership, organizational leadership, motivational leader, things like that. And my previous job and currently, in leadership development and diversity inclusion. So those are some of the keywords that I hit on. But that about section is huge because it's your prime time. It's like without putting a resume on there, a resume, right? And that's who are you and what do I need to know about you? Good? Okay. The next part is your experience, right? So for me, making sure that your experience, I like to think that at least the first one, your current position, should have a good basis of information about what it is that you do. So right here, this is my top job. I've been in the Air Force for 18 years and 6 months, right? But this is my current job and it matches the job that's on the front display. Remember, it's up here too. Superintendent, Integrated Resilience, Senior Manager, Diversity Inclusion. So this matches that. So keep that in mind. If that's the header on my photo and the header on my profile, that needs to be my current experience as well. And then it tells you I've been in that position for about 8 months, and then it tells all about that position. This is, so 18 years, you can imagine the laundry list is long. The laundry list is long, but the information, you want to make sure that first one, that first experience identifier is filled in completely. And does anybody, I'll just put it out there. If you're in school and you don't have a full-time job, then you want to put that experience in there as well. So if you're in college and you're not working, put that you're a full-time student and highlight whatever it is that you're doing within your school. Does that make sense? But don't leave it blank, because you're doing something right now, and that's good experience. All right, the next step is to connect. So when you go into LinkedIn, right, a lot of people just connect with, they jump in, they put their profile together, and then they walk away. Well, that's not it, right? When you get into LinkedIn, the cool part about it is once you create your profile, it starts telling you like, hey, you might know this person, you might know that person, you might know this person. So what you want to do is go over to that, and you want to connect with those people, right? If you know them. And here's the other part. If LinkedIn has said maybe there's something about you, so these people here, Superintendent, Command and Control Operations, Air Force Space Command, I may not know who the individual is personally, but what's my connection to them? And if I hit connect on this LinkedIn connection, I might say, hey, we're both in the Air Force, just wanted to keep in touch, or just wanted to connect with you. Maybe we can chat it up about this Air Force Space Command industry or something like that. As you can see, one of the cool things that I noticed happening is as I started connecting with other aspiring lawyers and actual lawyers, my people you may know grew so quickly with paralegals, with other lawyers, with other aspiring law school students, things like that. So when you hit that, when you build your profile, and that's what those keywords are, when you put those experiences in there, when you put all those different things, it's going to say, hey, you might know this person, that person. Don't take that for granted. You might know that person or you might not, but you want to expand your reach so that you can increase your credibility. That's what it's all about, connecting with people. So even though I may not know the CMSR and coach, mentor, you see the one at the bottom? I think it's really cool. CMSR, United States Air Force leader, coach, mentor, and they're saying I have a top secret SCI. That's a lot of information. I might not know that person, but I might say, hey, I noticed that you put, top secret SCI, and I was interested in obtaining one. Probably don't write that because they might be like, what? But it's, but it's still something to connect you and link you with that individual. Fair enough? Good? Okay. All right, so then you want to expand your network, right? So the search bar is probably your best friend on LinkedIn, right? You want to use the search bar to expand your reach. So you're looking for people in similar fields, similar positions, alumni from schools or schools you're interested in. So I think a lot of times we might take this for granted, but the reality is I could go search up, if I'm interested in Harvard Law School, and see what comes up. I could look at, UNLV. But the other part is don't just expand, don't just search and stop there. When you look those things up, you want to search for them, and then you want to make the connection. So if I look up UNLV, which is the school out here in Las Vegas where I'm located, and they have a pre-law group or something like that, I want to join that group. I want to connect with those people, right? That's the whole point. If I just look it up and walk away, then I did myself a disservice, right? So use that search bar to grow your network and expand your network. And that's the beautiful thing to me about LinkedIn is that from a professional aspect, I can say I can look up aspiring lawyer, aspiring law school student, and come up with not just people, but organizations that could help me along my journey. Good? Questions, guys? It's just the three of us, so we're just chatting. So now what, right? I told you all this stuff. You got this stuff about LinkedIn. What do? Well, you stay active and you connect, and you share content. So the other part about LinkedIn that's so cool is that you go on there and you can share content. I didn't copy all this stuff. I didn't think we'd have a lot of time, but I should have guessed I could have kept going. You share your content though. So you can go into LinkedIn and you can like post. You can also make posts. So I've posted, and guys, you know what? Since it's just us, maybe I'll pull up. You guys want to pull up my actual LinkedIn? Oh, I'm not on my computer. Crap. But I probably could go to my profile. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can pull up my actual profile for you guys, and maybe we'll just take a look. I thought we'd. I didn't know if we'd have time to do it, but since it's just us, let me see if I can, not on my computer, so it may not come up. Um, let's see, maybe. Yeah. So I'm gonna drag this over here, guys, and we'll just take a look and kind of drive through it. So this is a, you guys see my LinkedIn? And we went through some of the but you see it, Shakir? Thumbs up. Good. Okay. So I want to talk about the activities part. But as you can see, remember I said the experience. You see how long that gets? And that's just a part of it. Then you want to jump down. You can also see education. And then licenses and certifications. And then don't forget this part, volunteer experience, which is really big. You want to jump into that volunteer experience and make sure that you're letting, can you imagine, this is just, remember we talked about letters of recommendation, personal statements. You can't get it all into that, but if a recruiter or someone from the admissions team comes to look at you, here's some volunteer experience that you can add in that you may not have gotten on your resume. Do you guys see how this is just another way to advertise yourself, right? So you want to make sure you have all this stuff filled out. And then of course you have the endorsements, you have accomplishments, honors and awards, organizations, publications, then you have interest. So this is just another way, in my opinion, for people to get to know more about you, which is so phenomenal. Don't worry, guys, this is not my computer, so a lot of it is not about me. But the activity part, and let me see, because this isn't my but you could see here all of my activity and all of my posts. Right? So this is some cool stuff because most people do this just on Facebook, but you can do the same thing on LinkedIn and create a personal brand on LinkedIn, which is the one that I like to think a lot of law schools use more heavily. And then of course you have the Facebooks and stuff, but you lock those down a little bit more than you do your LinkedIn profiles. So share content, also create content, give feedback. As you start to make those connections, make sure that you say, hey, that was great, or congratulations, or whatever it is, and then join in on conversations. There's lots of things happening, moving parts and pieces. Okay, I'll answer that for you, Shakir. Lots of moving parts and pieces, so join in on those conversations and make sure you're commenting. So how do you know what type of content to create? That's great. So for me, I try to steer clear of, let me say it like this, let me not steer clear. For me, I like to create things that are positive and will make people happy, right? That will get people excited about the day and excited about what it is that I'm doing. So I'm not one of those people that tend to create a lot of controversial type of things, but I do like to get people thinking, and I like to motivate and inspire. So quotes are great, right? Do a quote a day or a quote of the week or something like that. You can, if you share and marvel in your wins, right? If you have a great day, share that. Today was a great day. You know, I got this accomplished, or, you know, whatever it is, sharing your wins. Because like I said, this is just extra exposure for you, right? So whatever you post on there, if it's positive, or you put, hey, looking for law school mentors, like, it is what it is. Looking for mentors on my law school journey. Great day today, found a mentor. Like, this is what the type of stuff that would be awesome. But there's also a lot of things on LinkedIn that are about jobs and stuff like that. And it may not be that you're looking for jobs in particular, but you could share that information with someone to make that connection, right? So that's the type of stuff I look to create when an organization is hosting something that I'm comfortable with the sharing. I share it. So I do my research, but if there's an organization that I feel like, oh man, I want to get behind that, I might share it and I'll put some things, right? So I won't just share it and hit send. I'll share it, but I'll also say, hey, I support this organization. They're doing great stuff in the community, right? And guys, don't forget, like, we're in the land of hashtags and all those other things. Tag something. I always tag aspiring law school student. I always tag pre-law. I always tag LSAT, right? Anything like that, I tag it. I put a hashtag to it so that people can, if they do, I'm in the mix. I'm in the mix of conversation and I'm in the mix of whatever else is going on. And it might drive more people to the page. This is all about branding and marketing yourself on this journey. You think great content will be publishing a post for LSAT progress? Absolutely. Absolutely. I put it out there when I took the test. I put it out there when I had 30 days before the test, and I asked for accountability. I put out there, hey, I'm taking my law school admissions test in 30 days, and for the next 30 days, join the bandwagon. I even created my own little hashtag, motivating me, Sean. Hashtag motivating me, Sean. Right. And I put it and I put it out there so that people could get on board with what it was I was doing. Absolutely. Just know that when you put that out there, you're asking people to help you be accountable for yourself. So if people are like, hey, how's the journey going or whatever, that's the traction you're going to get. So like, I couldn't get frustrated when people reached out and say, how did you do? Or how you doing with your studying, and stuff like that. People are going to respond. Absolutely, Shakir, that's spot on. I would definitely do that because it's going to get that conversation churning. And hopefully you'll start seeing some things. You guys know this is all computers. You'll start seeing some things that are more in line with what it is your goals are, right? So right now it might be in line with your jobs, but as you start to post some of those different things, then it might start to populate other candidates and other people. Connect with me on LinkedIn, please do, right? And then as you see, I'll start pushing stuff out that I push out everything. I mean, I'll share all kinds of stuff, and people share with me. And even if I don't share it, I'll like it, right? So then I'm on and that's the other part. And this is just, you guys are here, so you're gonna get it. If you like it, if you hit like on something, then you follow it. So I like something on a lawyer's page, and then if that lawyer posts something else, or it follows down with this is coming up, this particular seminar on this or this. That's how I learn about everything that I know about going on. Is I like something or follow something, and then I get a thing that says, oh, this seminar is happening. I sign up for the seminar, and then I get more of those. And that's how my network has just grown. What do you guys think? All right. So, well, that was what I had. I thought it was going to be longer, but I guess it kind of went a little faster than I expected. But we got to take a look at one. Do you guys have any questions? Any stuff you guys want to? I think there's a 6 o'clock, so I don't want to be. I know it's 5:37, so maybe about 5 minutes or so. If you guys have any questions or thoughts on any of that information, talk about it.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
When is a good time to connect with somebody, and when can you not, or when should you not connect? Like, I guess, should you cold call connect? If I'm saying that correctly.
So you guys, so I did a couple weeks back. I did a whole networking thing, right? Letters of recommendation, how to network, and what to send out, all that stuff. And I think some of the documents are on there, but let's chat about that really fast. So when it comes down to it, right, you're reaching out and you're saying, hey, this is my interest, and if there's anything you could help me. Okay, cool. Thank you, Shakira. Absolutely. Watch this. I'm gonna I'm gonna connect with you on LinkedIn. So here's the thing. We did a whole hour. I think we went on here longer than an hour talking about networking and how to do it. So what I would say to you is, listen, yeah, you're gonna do some cold reaching out. Some people are gonna not respond, right? Some people are not gonna say anything back. If I pulled up my LinkedIn right now and pulled up my messages, guys, I could show you a bunch that I've sent that people have just not responded back. And I can show you some where people have said, yes, let's get on my calendar, or let's get you on my calendar. you want to reach out and you want to have these words kind of ready to rock and roll. You know, hey, my name is such and such. I'm an aspiring law school student, and I'm taking the LSAT this time. I'm interested in this school. You know, you might not get all that into if you're using LinkedIn, but I'd love to connect with you on my journey, right? Or I'd love to connect with you and learn more about how you got to where you are. They may never respond to you, or they might say, I've had somebody say, hey, listen, thanks, I'm glad you reached out. I'm not necessarily into mentorship, or I don't have the time for mentorship, but let me connect you with someone else. Fair enough, right? That's okay. Let me connect you with someone. And that connection led to another program that I got involved in where I did get a mentor and a law school student mentor. So don't be afraid to just reach out and say, hey, this is the journey I'm on, and I'm looking for, you know, mentorship, or even just to have a conversation about your journey. Any information you can share. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And you know, I think the biggest part about it is a lot of times we're nervous. You know, what if they don't respond? Well, that's just one person. If you send 5 emails or 5 messages, so this is the thing, it's different, right, from picking up the phone and making a phone call, because people don't answer calls they don't know. Right? We're in that stage where if I don't know your number, I might not answer it. But the LinkedIn connections, you know, they're even different from Messenger, I would like to say. The LinkedIn connections, people are looking to connect. That's why they're there. So when you say, hey, you know, I'm on this journey, I take the LSAT here, and I'm looking to create meaningful relationships, or I'm looking to connect with people who have experienced the same thing, and any advice that you'd like to share. People want a platform to talk, you know, like people want a platform to communicate. They want to say, this is what I did, you know. But I would also say to you to be mindful. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I see that. Hold on, Shakira, I want to talk about that. Oh no, YouTube. Oh, cool. Well, you could talk about it. You just wanted to, dear future colleagues, connect me who are current law school students, practicing lawyers, and nephews. Yeah, that's awesome. See, and just like this, you guys are here. You're gonna get that, Shakira. You see what she put in the chat, and there it is. And that's exactly what I'm talking about doing. That's what happens. People say, well, I might not be the person that can do it, but I know this person, or I know this program you should look into. And that's what you're looking to do, is grow that network. But the biggest part is to stay connected. So when I think about how many people I've reached out to and stuff like that, like, I need to go back and continue to cultivate those relationships, so they just don't end when they don't end because I said hello and they said hello and then we're done. Go. You were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, this has been really helpful, but also I just wanted to plug that program because I think it's a really good opportunity. But the funny thing is that I actually found that program from one person to the other, to the other, to the other. So it's kind of like that series. And then, yeah, so a lot of people attending the school that I'm interested in, and then they just found me a mentor that's just graduated this year from that school. And I've even they've also connected me to some professors who teach at that school.
Right.
So I just wanted to plug that because I think that'd be really helpful for both of you, and then I'll plug it for LSAT Unplugged as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, and thank you so much for sharing. Like that's it right there. I reached out to somebody who told me about something, who said something about something. So guys, I will tell you this, the networking part of this journey is just as tedious and time consuming as the LSAT studying. So when I was studying, in the midst of studying and trying to network and meet people, it's a full day's worth of work, right? But you need to carve out, after you get to a comfortable place with studying, you have to start carving out a time for networking. It's an hour a day for me to check my emails, respond, and network. Period, point blank. It's an hour a day. I know that. I know I need it. I know I have to have it, because when I wake up in the morning and the emails, and that's not even my job, right? I still have to go to work, but that that's at least an hour a day that I have to log into the computer. Oh, cool. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check out both of these guys. I'm gonna take notes too, because I'm learning here too, right? This is a group effort. But that's an hour a day, right? That I need to log in, Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. Guys, wait, I gotta take notes myself. But that's an hour a day, right? That I have to log in and just connect with people and say, hey, whatever it is, whether that's teaching classes, jumping on here and doing stuff like this, which is all great stuff, guys. You know, all these things, hosting something, whatever it is, uh, whatever you wanna spend that time to connect. You have to do it. It's a part of the journey as well.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so I understand that like when you say you have to kind of reach out to the admissions board and the when they read your essay or they read your application, that should not be the first time they're hearing your name or seeing your name.
You want to try your best, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess my question is how would I approach um somebody on the board without, I guess, without trying to make it seem like I'm just approaching um for them to know me? I guess what's
Well,
the
okay.
right way of going about that?
Yeah, so when I say board, first off, remember I said, uh, we may never, you don't know everybody that's on the board, right? But when you go to, have you been to a law school seminar where they bring the schools in and met with the dean, the admissions counselors?
No, I don't think I have. Is that
Okay, so that's what so when I'm talking about those admissions counselors, all of them are at those. When you go to a law school, LSAC has law school seminars. They usually do one once a year, twice a year, maybe. But those seminars, and right now they're virtual, which is great, which means you don't have to go anywhere. You can log onto these seminars from the privacy of your home and meet with all of these different schools. But also you can go to the school that you're looking for, right? And looking that you're interested in, and you can make an appointment with the admissions counselor, right? Admissions counselor. So you may not meet the entire board. That's not what I'm saying, but you may meet the admissions counselor, right? And that admission counselor will be in most likely will have some say and be in the room during the admissions process. So you want that admissions counselor to remember you. So you don't just meet them and go like, remember me, but I have a meaningful conversation. So when I get on someone's calendar, I come prepared with questions, right? I come prepared with questions that I want to ask them about the school. And then I always tell them like, look for my application, right? I always say that, and they always throw their thumbs up. But so this is March, and I'll be applying in October. I should at least meet with the admissions counselors once, hopefully twice, for the schools that I'm interested in. So that could be once at a seminar and once personally, right? Once at a seminar, once person. That's two interactions with an admissions. Now it's up to me to make that a meaningful connection and ensure that that time spent was valuable. So I try to make sure that I highlight some things about myself and I weave myself into the school in some way, right? So I always ask about military programs because I'm military. Yeah, also show that you're confident. They're impressed with scholars who are bold. Yeah, meaning you reached out and show you really want this and you did your research. Absolutely. So making those connections is huge, but it's a big part of that's a big part of you. Now on LinkedIn, they may not connect with you personally on LinkedIn, right? Some may not, but you've made that impression. And you can always ask them too. Would you, and they may say, well, don't connect with me personally on LinkedIn, but connect with the school or something like that. Some people might say, yeah, sure, reach out. And I'm telling you, you want to get on their calendars. You want to get on their calendars. So, if you're not signing up for these seminars and sitting through these seminars, go to the school and you can look at, it'll show, we'll be on the LSAC this, or we'll hosting let me tell you what I did. I'm going to share this with you guys. So there's a school I was interested in, or I am interested in. I went to their calendar and they had a seminar. It was open, right? I don't know that anybody else may have joined into it. It was an open seminar. On the seminar were students and faculty. It was one of their continuing education courses, right? I don't know that I was supposed to be in it, but it let me sign up and it gave me the info. So I went to the class. I went to this particular class that they were offering on mindfulness, because mindfulness is what I do and teach in the Air Force. So I went because I was like, well, if this school's into mindfulness, I'm cool with that. Like that's what I do and that's what I believe in. So I want to know what they're telling their students and what they believe in. I went to the program. In the program were all of the faculty and in the class, I'm sorry, were all the faculty and some of the students from the school that I was interested in. Not only did I sit in the class, I started asking questions, right? I started asking questions while I was in the class that I don't know if I was supposed to be there or not, but I started asking questions, and I shared a little bit about what the military is doing with mindfulness. Let me ask you this question. This is from me to you guys. Do you think that those professors at that school, after I was like, well, I'm just a pre-law student, I'm interested in the school, but I'd like to share a little bit. Do you think that they were like, who is this? and why is she here? Or do you think they were like, oh, well, that's the business. Like, we're going to remember her? Because I'm going to tell you, they started asking me, well, Michonne, what does the military believe in this? We started talking about it. So do you think those professors now know who I am? Maybe not in this, but if I reached out and said, hey, we were in the class together, I'd love to sit down and get some time to discuss law school. You think they'd sit down and chat with me? Absolutely. Absolutely they would. And I know, because I reached out. So so that's what I'm saying. Like, you just got to get in there. You just got to jump in feet first, man. And I think a lot of times, we're relying on the applications to go through, and those are going to be strong, right? But yeah, they can advocate for you. Yeah, you never know what's happening in that room, but they can advocate for you. So you apply. I really love, and I wrote some of that in my personal statement, right? Like, I sat through a class and I enjoyed it, and Professor such and such said, linked myself to it for that application. 100%. I'm excited for what happens. I can't wait to teach one of these, facilitate one of these once I put all my applications in and see what happens. Because I'm trying really hard. The networking piece is huge for me, because I think that's probably the biggest thing that I can do. That's the part that I can own the most of. I can own I can own this process if I really take advantage of all of the things that are available. One being, the letters of recommendation, and we talked about that. Now jump back on here and do another one of those in the near future. But another being the application as far as the resume, right? That's mine, to make sure that it's good and clear and clean and tight. But after that, all of those things, that's what everybody's doing. I like to tell my airmen in the military, when I write their evaluation reports, yeah, I can check you off every day and say you're a great airman. You did this, you did this, you did this, you came to work on time. Okay, everybody's doing that. Now what else? That's how I like to live life. Everybody's doing this. What else is Michonne doing? What else are you doing to make yourself stand out? And this is one way you can do it.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.